Today we're going to be talking about how to find do based on a key signature. So you might be asking yourself, or me, Mr. Price, why do I need to know this information? Well, when you get a new piece of music, if you can find do, then you can find all the notes around do that make up that scale. And since songs are based on scales, you can easily figure out how to sing a piece if you can find do and all the other notes of that scale. So first, in order to find out do from a key signature, we need to understand scales. We previously talked about the makeup of a major scale. We stated that a scale starts on a note, and if we follow the pattern whole step, half step, whole step, half step, that we in fact will have the major scale. Whole, half, whole, half. So if we start on C, on the keyboard, and go up all the white keys, we find ourselves going C, whole step to D, whole step to E, then since there's no black key here, it's a half step to F. Whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, then again, no black key here, so a half step to C. So starting on C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or on solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that is our major scale. Can you find between which two pairs of notes there is only a half step? Well, looking at my graph here, it's between E and F, half step, and B and C, because there are no black keys between those white keys on the keyboard. Or on solfege, between mi and fa is only a half step, and ti and do. Notice that mi points to fa, and ti points to do. No other hand signs do that. So you can see it even in the hand signs, the importance of that half step. So if we start on any note on the keyboard and follow this pattern of whole steps and half steps, whole, half, whole, half, we will arrive on a major scale. So let's go ahead and build a major scale on the note E. D. On the note D. There we go. It's D. So starting on D on our keyboard, a whole step to E, and now a whole step above E, I have to go to this black key over here, F sharp. Half, whole. Now another whole step again takes me over here to C sharp, then finally on D. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. That's my D major scale. So any song that is based on the D major scale will have all F sharps and all C sharps, because they're in the scale itself. So this brings us to key signatures. Well, a key signature takes the sharps in a scale and collects them and puts them at the beginning of the staff. This way, when I'm writing a piece, I don't have to write a sharp sign in front of every single F in the piece and a sharp sign in front of every single C in the piece. I will just see it collected in the key signature and remember that all Fs are sharp and all Cs are sharp. It makes the music much easier to read with much less ink on the page. As an example of this, let's build a scale on A, an A major scale. A, whole to C sharp, half. Whole, half. So to build a major scale on A, I notice that I have a C sharp, an F sharp, and a G sharp. Yes, I have to read the G above the staff here. So if my song based on the A major scale always has C sharp, always has F sharp, and G sharp, it's easier just to collect those and throw them in the key signature at the beginning of the piece instead of having them in front of every single note. So here I have C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. But notice the order from left to right. F, C, A. The sharp signs in a key signature will always appear in the same order. The first sharp will always be F, the second C, the third A, and so on as we progress through all of the sharps. And we'll look at that order a little later on. Okay, so now I can identify this scale, I can build it, I can make a key signature based on that scale. So what if I have a piece of music and I need to find out what do is based on the key signature? Well, of course, there is a method for finding do. First, you must determine what key you're in. In major keys, do is the key note. So in the key of A major, the note A is do. In the key of B major, the note B is do. In the key of C sharp major, the note C sharp is do. So now we know what to look for. Now let's find it. In sharp key signatures, the last sharp to the right is T. If you know T, you can find do. Do is always a half step higher than T, as we just learned. Do is always the next line or space above T, which makes it the next letter of the alphabet. So here, in this key signature, in both the bass and the treble staves, I see that F sharp is the last sharp. Every good boy does fine. That sharp is centered on line number 5, F sharp. So if F sharp is T, a half step higher than F sharp is G. It's the next letter of the alphabet. It's also the space above this line. You go up to the next line or space and you will find it. So we are in the key of G major. G is do. It's just that easy. Now, once I find do, I need to check the key signature to make sure there's not a sharp sign on the line or space in which do is. Here, there are no G sharps anywhere, so I know that G natural is do. We'll look at that a little bit later. Okay, this means, of course, you must know all the lines and the spaces and the letter names, that every good boy does fine, and F-A-C-E spells face. But not only that, you have to know that G is the first space above the staff. Above F is G, because there will be a sharp sign there in our key signature. It also helps to know the bass staff notes, too. All right, let's get a little practice in finding do. Here in this key signature, I have 4 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp above the staff, and D sharp. So since the last sharp to the right is T, that means D sharp of every good boy does, D sharp is T. Go up to the next line or space, which is E. Now I'm just going to make sure that there is no sharp sign in the E space making E sharp do. No, there's not, which means that E is my do. T, do. D sharp, E, line, space. And you can follow this format for any key signature. So can you find do based on these key signatures? Hopefully so. You're going to get some practice right now. You will get a theory worksheet called Sharp Key Signatures, Finding Do, Re, a step-by-step guide. And here's how you'll complete it. Step 1. Are there sharps or flats in the key signature? Well, yes, there are sharps. You would put sharps here. How many? Well, there's 1. Of course, there's 1 on the treble and bass, but they're both F sharp. So there's 1 sharp. What is the name of the sharp? Well, every good boy does fine. It's F sharp. Draw a whole note in the line or space above the last sharp to find do. So, last sharp is on this line. I will draw a whole note in this space here. And what note is it? Well, it's G. G will be do. And G is not sharped in the key signature, so I know that G natural is do. That's it. You can follow that format for all of them. In fact, let's go to the very last one on the back side of this worksheet. Sharps or flats? Well, yes, there are sharps. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all 7 letters of the alphabet, all 7 notes of the scale will be sharped in this key signature. What is the name of the last sharp? Every good boy. B. B sharp is the name of the last sharp. Draw a whole note in the line or space above the last sharp to find do. So I'll draw it in this little space here, space number 3, in the space of C. But notice that there is a sharp sign on C, which means that C is sharp in this key signature, and therefore C sharp is do. A half step above B sharp is C sharp. Sharp signs always appear in the same order from left to right. This order: F, C, G, D, A, E, B. You will give those letters here from left to right, showing the order of sharps from left to right. All right, so given this information, hopefully you can find any sharp sign key signature. And if you have questions, ask your neighbor for help. All right, good luck.